Hey, what's up, guys? This is Izix. This week's topic, we're talking about advantages and disadvantages of transitioning as a teen. Me personally, I transitioned later in life, so I'm not gonna be the one that's gonna really know much about this topic. I'm gonna do my best to at least touch on it, but again, like I said, don't know much about it. I've seen some videos though of some people who've transitioned as a teenager, and they, if it's early enough in their teen years, they could kind of stop some of the changes that happen during puberty that guys like myself have to kind of try to undo with our transition, whereas they get those results because it's during puberty. You know, we go through a second puberty once we do it later in life than as if we were to have caught it as a teen. Also, I do know I've seen some that did start transitioning early that actually have like an Adam's apple or didn't get much breast tissue, you know. The masculinized a little bit better than people who went through that first puberty and transitioned later in life. Voice changes, I think they get it a little bit better than some of us guys. Like, I still don't feel like my voice is deep enough. I mean, I'm not too happy with where it's at. So I feel like if I would have caught it earlier in life for myself, it probably would be deeper. Some of my changes would probably be more dominant or predominant than what they are right now. I do think there's disadvantages to it, and what I'm gonna say about that is just, you know, school can be hard, especially high school. High school is a time when people deal with a lot, acceptance and so on. For people who you may have grown up with since you're like younger and have known through years in school, if they're closed-minded, then you have to deal with that more because y'all are in the same environment. Whereas as an adult, you don't have to deal with that. I mean, you don't have to worry about bullies every day as an adult. At school, you're kind of like in the same vicinity, so you have to deal with that. So I think that's a disadvantage. Teachers or principals or anything like that that have known you forever, they may have trouble with the pronouns, the name, getting used to it. I feel like if you haven't legally changed your name yet as a teen and you want to use your preferred name, I feel like in high school they're going to have more of a struggle with that, especially like on the first day when they're announcing names or doing roll call. I feel like that's a disadvantage that would come along with that. I feel like the school gym may be an issue for y'all. I can see how that would be an issue, especially like as a teen, you have to not only worry about your peers, but their parents. Let's say they go home and tell one of their parents, then their parents are gonna start this big old thing and try to make the school treat you a certain way because they feel a certain way. I know I've seen that. I believe it was in the news, a story where it wasn't even that long ago, maybe a year or two ago, where they were throwing a fit over that, over the gym, the locker room. They didn't want trans people in the locker room with their kids. They didn't feel like it was right for someone that's trans to be in the locker room with their daughters. That's what they used as the argument. They didn't want trans girls being in the locker room with cis girls. They were worried that teen boys were just gonna act like they were trans and go into the locker room and take advantage of their kids, which there's nothing to back that. It's just these stipulations that people have, and it doesn't help that other closed-minded people go and add to that. Oh yeah, this is gonna happen, and just egg it on, you know. Heard a lot of stories like that when they were trying to pass HERO here in Houston, the Human Equal Rights Ordinance. The main argument the conservatives used was the restroom. They try to make it seem like trans women were going to rape women and children in the restroom. And it's not necessarily that they were targeting trans women. They were saying men, cis men, were gonna go out of their way to either pose as a trans woman and get into the restroom, which I think that's what they were assuming was gonna happen, or how they were trying to scare the public into voting against Hero and shooting that down. And they were able to do that. They actually got enough people to back that thought that people were gonna start dressing like women and going in the women's restroom. So it could easily be misconstrued, and I do feel like that's a disadvantage of being a teen and transitioning, just the school system. I mean, I don't see any other disadvantages besides your group of peers, your surroundings, not how it's gonna affect you personally, physically, mentally, not those changes, excuse me, but how people around you are gonna perceive you, how teachers, fellow students, friends' parents are gonna perceive you, how they're gonna treat you. I feel like that's gonna mess with you a lot as a teen and transitioning, because it messes with us as adults and transitioning. But we have that advantage of not having to be stuck in an enclosed area with these people. So that's why I don't regret coming out later in life, because I feel like I could easily walk away. I could jump in my car and drive off, you know, have that little advantage. So yeah, guys, that's it for this week. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up, and I will see y'all next week.